What do you make of the excitement for this race?
Just to put this in context, as of 3 o'clock, 1.4 million people have voted between early voting and voting up until 3 o'clock today. So we have, let's say, 5 more hours to go, 6 more hours to go since 3 o'clock. The last time we saw these kinds of numbers was in the Dinkins-Giuliani campaign in 1993 and 1988. We haven't gotten to 2 million people voting since the 50s during when Wagner ran for mayor. So this really speaks. Generally, in the last 3 mayoral cycles, we've had 1.1 million people vote for a mayor. So we already have surpassed significantly the numbers of people coming out. I think it speaks to the passion that people have for this race on any side. Anybody that you're supporting, you feel really passionately about. You feel really passionately about this race. This is a change moment. And the question people have is, do we really want this much change in New York City? Is that good for the city?
Suri, that's the magic word, change. I'm not a political analyst, but I read a lot, and the consensus over the years has been when there is a change election and there is a large voter turnout, doesn't that usually accumulate to the challengers' side? Like during this sort of big surge of voters, that doesn't tend to work to the incumbents' benefit. And I know that neither of these folks have been mayor before, but one would assume the former governor of New York is closer to an incumbent than a 34-year-old city assemblyman or state assemblyman.
What I think is unique about this election is that Andrew Cuomo is running on a third-party line that was created for this election. The last person to win for mayor on a third-party line was John Lindsay in 1969. So it's a very hard race, even though he's the known name, and he was the former governor. Well, he wasn't the mayor, he's not the incumbent, but he was a governor, he was the attorney general. His father was the governor, a 3-term governor, right, ran for 4th term. So they are known in New York circles, certainly, and Mamdani is really a newer face in New York City politics, although he was an assembly member. I think the reality is running on a third-party line is really tough. When John Lindsay won on the third-party line, it was the Liberal Party line, which was a state party line, which was a more established third-party line than Fight and Deliver, the line that was created for this election. So it's an interesting race in that way. If you saw if you voted and you saw there were 9 lines with 7 people on the ballot. So even though Eric Adams and Jim Walden dropped out, they were still on the ballot, which is also very confusing. And it'll be interesting to see if people still vote for Eric Adams because maybe they didn't even hear that he pulled out of the race. And of course you have the third, Curtis Sliwa, the third person running, who's on 2 lines. He's on the animal rights line, and he's also on the Republican line, which is a major line. Right. So even though Trump has said, don't vote for Curtis Sliwa, vote for Cuomo, because a vote for Curtis is a vote for Mamdani, at the end of the day, there are Republicans that will vote Republican.
I wanted to ask about the passion that you spoke about. I mean, is it equal across the voter base, or are the passionate voters the ones backing just Mamdani? Or are the Republicans in New York City passionate about voting for Curtis Sliwa?
Look, both of them.
Yeah, look, I think we've seen a tremendous amount of money spent against Mamdani, and those people are certainly passionate. Mm-hmm. They are mostly behind, at least the polls show, they are more behind Andrew Cuomo because they think his numbers are higher and he's got the better chance against Mamdani. But certainly very significant amounts of money have been spent, especially in the last day, scaring people for everybody's going to leave New York, crime is going to go up, terrible things are going to happen. And the question is, will that resonate with the voters?
Really curious what your thoughts are on the Trump endorsement of Andrew Cuomo. I mean, obviously Staten Island, that'll carry some weight, but what is the Democratic advantage in the rest of New York City? 8-1, 9-1? What does a Trump endorsement do for Cuomo? Does it help Mamdani in New York?
Look, I think it actually energizes a lot of Mamdani voters. I think that one of the reasons, many reasons why Mamdani has done as well as he's done. Firstly, his message of affordability is something that's resonated particularly amongst younger voters. I think his grassroots campaign, social media, 95,000 people on the streets knocking on doors, QR codes, really organized campaign. A lot of that has motivated people. But let's be honest, many New Yorkers are motivated by how angry they are about what's going on in Washington. And so in a sense, that is what is fueling some of the excitement about Mamdani, that he's so different than Trump.
He is the Trump of this election. His use of social media and his outsider status, he really is running a similar campaign to that the president ran in 2024.
For those just turning in, we're here with Suri Kasirer, the chief executive officer of her namesake firm. And as a reminder, Michael R. Bloomberg, the founder and majority owner of Bloomberg News parent company, Bloomberg LP, and a former New York City mayor, gave $1.5 million to a super PAC supporting Andrew M. Cuomo's bid for mayor and reiterated his support for the former New York governor a week before the election. You know, Suri, you wrote in your notes to us about vacancy rates. And I'm wondering if you can just tell the listeners here why that's relevant, that vacancy rates in New York City, why is it relevant to the mayoral election?
Okay, so I would say there's two vacancy rates that are important here, right? Mm-hmm. The vacancy rates that I was talking about is New York City government has about 17,000 vacancies, jobs that are vacant, jobs that have not been filled. Now, Mamdani has talked, and so has Andrew Cuomo, about the importance of housing. So many New Yorkers can't find housing, can't find affordable housing, but can't find housing. Actually, when everybody talks about all the people who are leaving New York, there are actually 85,000 more New Yorkers here this year than last year. People are graduating colleges and staying here. People are coming here, graduating in other parts of the country and coming here. Young people want to be in New York. Mamdani is attracting young people. I think if he gets elected, it remains to be seen whether he can help fill those vacancies with young people who want to live here in New York. It is very hard to create and build new housing when the agencies that do that work don't have the appropriate number of people to review paperwork, to give permits out, to help get this housing built. So I think the significant vacancy rates are a real problem in New York. We haven't been able to find people who want to work in government, and hopefully this attraction of young people will bring people who want to be in public service.